Marie Antoinette, Queen of France, fashion icon, and possibly the most misunderstood woman in French history. Today we are diving into the pastel fever dream that is Marie Antoinette 2006, comparing it to the other movies and actual history. In pop culture, and especially in cinema, Marie Antoinette has been portrayed in dozens of films, plays, and books. Even Headless Monarch Butterfly has been dubbed the Marie Antoinette phenomenon. Hollywood has been obsessed with Marie Antoinette for decades. In 1988 version, she is noble and dramatic. She cries a lot and looks tragic, very old Hollywood. In Farewell My Queen, movie shows the queen from the perspective of her servant, more quiet and intimate. In 1989 version, she is in court. Movie focuses entirely on her trial, based on the real transcripts. But perhaps the most famous version is Sofia Coppola's Marie Antoinette 2006. Sofia Coppola gave us Marie Antoinette, a rich girl in 18th century. She has got champagne, pink wigs, romance, Converse sneakers, and zero sign of the revolution happening outside until the very end of the movie. The film certainly focuses more on Marie Antoinette's personal life than the politics surrounding it. It depicts the personal difficulties she faced while living in Versailles. Her relationship with new husband, Louis XVI, the burden of bearing an heir to the throne, and the social hierarchy of the time. And also, the movie shows the aesthetics of 18th century fashion very well. But only at the end hints at the revolution and the future fate of Marie Antoinette. Indeed, Marie Antoinette was 14 when she married the future Louis XVI, sent from Austria to France to marry a guy she had never met. In Versailles there is no privacy, tons of pressure, and everyone judged her for not producing an heir. It took 7 years for her and Louis to produce an heir. I don't know if you understood from the film, but Marie Antoinette arrives at Versailles when she was 14, and her trial takes place when she was 37. The passage of time in the film is ambiguous. By the end, she is a mature woman who understands her situation. Let's get one thing straight. Marie Antoinette did not bankrupt France. At least she wasn't the only reason of that. The monarchy was already drowning in debt before she arrived. France spent a fortune helping the American Revolution. It was a heavy burden on the state treasury, and an inefficient and unfair tax system, with the lion's share of taxes paid by the Third Estate, worsened financial problems. Marie Antoinette was dubbed Madame Deficit by her critics, which reflected public reception of her as one of the causes of the monarchy's financial problems. Her spendings were outrageous by modern standards, but modest compared to earlier royals, especially Louis XIV, the Sun King with fountain addiction. But despite she was only one factor, her lavish taste and extravagant spendings were symbolic of royal excess. That served as a catalyst for the expression of popular anger, which was directed against the monarchy as a whole.
Let them eat cake.
That's such nonsense. I would never say that.
Indeed, she never said it. The quote was written years before she became a queen by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. There is zero evidence she ever said it. But people were mad. The queen's use of such an inappropriate phrase has become a good political picture for revolution. Actually, as the revolution started, Marie Antoinette became more serious and political, writing letters pushing her husband to take action and trying to save the monarchy. Did she flee the country? She tried. They got caught. The royal family tried to flee France in 1791. They were recognized by locals and stopped in the small town of Rennes, where they were arrested. The escape attempt worsened the common people's discontent with the royal family. Although accusations of embezzlement against Marie Antoinette are more than justified, blaming her for everything would be at the very least an exaggeration. Politics and the inept budgetary management caused the crisis. But the royal family's waste was so extensive and inappropriate for centuries that the image of flighty, foolish queen who didn't know the difference between bread and cake became a symbol of a government that cares nothing for the common people of France. History isn't always pink and powder. Subscribe for more royally messed up stories.